And unrest in Bangladesh. Multiple attacks reported on the Hindu minority in the wake of a social upheaval that unseated former Premier Sheik Hasina. Interim leader Muhammad Yunus urges protesters to protect all and condemns the attacks as heinous.
Let's get some insight in the situation in Bangladesh. Dr. Lutfun Nahar Lata is a lecturer in sociology and social policy at the University of Melbourne, and she's joining us this hour. Dr. Lata, thank you very much for your time. Firstly, just talk to us about why that sudden exit of Ms. Hasina fuels such attacks on Hindus and other religious minorities in the past week. Are they politically motivated, or is it more of a religious reasons?
Thank you. I think it's a bit hard to tell at the moment because there are like so many different views what's happening. And it's not only that the minorities are targeted, but even people in some parts of the country, they are also experiencing different kind of attacks. So it's not probably religion. It's more kind of because of the vacuum that created since Sheikh Hasina fled. Traditionally, the Hindu, they are kind of a vote bank for the ruling, like past Prime Minister Sheik Hasina's political party, Army League. So I think that probably has a bit of influence, but it's really hard to tell whether it's religiously motivated. I don't think it's religiously motivated because Bangladeshis are generally very tolerant to each other. Like you can see that people from all these different communities, including Muslims, they are trying to protect Hindu temples, and they are kind of definitely very much not happy with the violent attackers. So they're trying to figure out who are these attackers, and they're trying to protect Hindu temples. And they are having discussion with the Hindu communities so that they could provide them support. So they're working together, and definitely we want a harmonious community and harmonious country, and we are very much kind of try to protect everyone's rights. So it's definitely not religious issue, it's a political issue. I would say.
It's still early on, Doctor, but the interim government said it's committed to resolving attacks on Hindu. How big of a test is this for the interim government, and what are the main challenges in curbing the violence and also restoring communal harmony?
The interim government definitely they are going to try to resolve these issues, but the main challenge for the interim government is. But it's kind of going to resolve anyway because initially the police stopped working when Hasina fled to India, but they are coming back to police station. So now we have kind of nearly 650 police stations all over the country, I think, and more than 500 police stations are active again. So they would be able to help the interim government to bring back peace and harmony. But they kind of stopped working from since Hasina fled and now. So there was a bit of a chaos because there were no police kind of were working. And so people had to kind of step up and to help and restore order.
You used the word chaos, and Sheikh Hasina's son, he has described the situation in Bangladesh as mob rule, and he warned that if elections are not held soon, there would be chaos. What do you make of his comments, and how soon could we see elections?
So I think I disagree with Sheikh Hasina's son, Joy. So it's not that chaos that he is trying to tell the world. It's kind of more about this is a political kind of turmoil situation. So the country is going through a lot of changes at the moment. So it would definitely take a bit of time to restore political peace and order. But as the interim government already shown, and they're kind of working to restore justice and order, I think it don't take much time. The situation is already getting better, and they're kind of trying to reform some of the kind of political positions as well. So my understanding is the country is getting better to restore its political order. And the interim government has said they'll try to declare the election date as early as possible, but they need some time to kind of figure out everything because they need to probably make some changes in the election process because the way the previous elections, last 3 elections held. So it might take a bit of time. So it's probably not going to held within 3 months' time, but the interim government is going to try to declare an election date as soon as possible.
Doctor, given that Hasina's future, plans remain uncertain, what sort of impact might her potential return or continued exile have on Bangladesh's political landscape and also the ongoing efforts for democratic reform?
So I'm really hopeful for the democratic return, and that's what the interim government they have probably number one priority in their kind of mandate. So they're definitely going to do some reform in countries like political structure as well as judicial structure so that we can ensure that democracy will continue and the history will not repeat what happened last couple of years. So I'm hopeful about that. But about Sheikh Hasina's return, I mean, the student leaders, they want her to go back to the country and face kind of judicial stuff, but not sure when she will go back. But I think her son is kind of interested in joining politics. So he is kind of telling that he might join, he might come back. So we don't really know what's going to happen. We can't really comment on that. So we have to probably wait a couple of more months to see whether Sheikh Hasina is going back to the country or her son Joy is going to take the lead.
That's another angle we will continue to watch. Thank you very much for your insights today. Lutfun Nahar Lata, lecturer in sociology and social policy at the University of Melbourne.